Welcome to EPMA. I am Ben Eccles.
And I am Avery, PPMX's project partner.
So in our last segments, we talked about how transitions don't have to be nightmares. But I'd like to talk about something that I think is getting lost in all the noise around the Project Online deadline. Everybody is focused on the timeline. When does the service shut down? How long does a migration take? What tool do we move to? Those are important questions. But there are two risks sitting underneath those questions that most organizations aren't examining carefully enough. And both of them will cost significantly more than the migration itself if you get them wrong.
That framing is exactly right. And EPMA has been in enough of these conversations over the past year to say that both risks are showing up in real organizations right now. Let's walk through them.
Let's start with risk one.
Risk one is what EPMA calls the planner assumption, and it's coming directly from Microsoft's own messaging. Microsoft has positioned Planner, specifically what was formerly called Project for the Web, now consolidated under the Planner brand as Planner Premium, as the recommended path forward from Project Online. And for some organizations, that may be appropriate. Teams that were using Project Online primarily for basic project tracking and task visibility might find Planner sufficient. But for organizations that were using Project Online for actual enterprise PPM, and that's most of the organizations EPMA works with, Planner is not that replacement. I want to be specific about what that means because it matters. Planner does not provide portfolio-level resource capacity planning. You can see tasks assigned to people. You cannot see across your entire project portfolio. Identify that someone is allocated at 140% across 3 concurrent projects, and model what happens to your timelines if you rebalance that capacity. Planner does not provide portfolio financial governance, budget forecasting, actuals tracking, burn rate and variance analysis across multiple programs simultaneously. These are not Planner capabilities. Planner does not connect project execution to strategic objectives in a meaningful way. You cannot look at your portfolio and see in real time whether the work being done is delivering on the things your organization committed to this year. These aren't edge cases or advanced features. These are the core capabilities that enterprise PPM exists to provide. If your organization was genuinely using those capabilities in Project Online, you need them in whatever you migrate to, regardless of what Microsoft's messaging implies.
What about Project Server? A lot of organizations are hearing that as a fallback option.
Project Server comes up frequently, and it's worth being clear-eyed about what it is. It's the on-premise predecessor to Project Online. Microsoft has a subscription edition that can be hosted on Azure. It looks and feels familiar to organizations that have been in the Microsoft project ecosystem, and for that reason, it feels safe. But EPMA would raise 2 honest concerns. First, Project Server is also end-of-life. Microsoft has given it a runway, roughly 5 years out, but it is not a permanent home. Choosing Project Server is not solving the migration problem, it's deferring it. The organization will need to migrate again, and by then, they will have less time and potentially fewer options. Second, it doesn't leverage modern AI and cloud capabilities. The organizations that are making good long-term decisions right now are building on platforms that will be able to take advantage of AI-assisted project management over the next 2 to 3 years. Project Server is a step backward from that direction, not forward. EPMA understands why organizations are drawn to it. Familiarity is genuinely valuable during a stressful transition, but familiar and right are different things.
Okay, what about risk 2?
Risk 2 is more invisible than risk 1, which is part of why it doesn't get the attention it deserves. Here's the question EPMA asks in almost every initial client conversation. Where are your projects actually living right now? Not where they're supposed to live. Where are they actually living? Because in most organizations, the honest answer is everywhere. Projects are in Project Online, yes, but they're also in Jira for the engineering teams that refuse to leave it. They're in Smartsheet for the teams that needed something lighter. They're in Azure DevOps for the software development groups. They're in Excel spreadsheets that have been running for 5 years and nobody has had the courage to retire. They're in email threads and status meeting notes and PowerPoint decks sent to leadership every Friday. That fragmentation is normal. It happens in almost every organization of any meaningful size. But it has a direct consequence. Leadership cannot see the full picture.
And that consequence gets worse when you add a new tool without fixing the fragmentation.
Exactly. If the migration decision is, let's move what's in Project Online to the new system and leave everything else where it is, and that's the decision most organizations make, then on the other side of the migration, you have a cleaner version of the same fragmented problem. You still cannot answer the question, across everything our organization is working on right now, do we have the capacity to deliver it all? You still cannot pull a single view of resource utilization across all your teams and systems. You still cannot report to a board on total project investment and expected portfolio return. You have moved from one incomplete picture to another incomplete picture. Cleaner, but incomplete.
So what's the answer? Tell every team they have to abandon the tools they're using and consolidate to one platform?
No, and this distinction is important. EPMA has seen that battle play out, and it isn't winnable. Mandating that every team give up the execution tools they're embedded in generates exactly the kind of adoption resistance we talked about in the previous video. And it often fails anyway. The answer is not to consolidate execution tools. The answer is to create one home for portfolio-level visibility, one place where every project that exists in the organization is visible, regardless of what tool the team uses to manage the day-to-day work. PPMX integrates with the tools teams are already using. Engineering teams in Jira. That data comes into PPMX at the portfolio level. Operations teams in Smartsheet. Same thing. Teams keep their execution tools. Leadership gets the single view of the portfolio, resource capacity, financial performance, strategic alignment, that they've never had before because the data was scattered across a dozen systems. This is what a real PPM platform does. It's the intelligence layer that sits above the execution tools and makes the whole picture visible, not the hammer that forces everyone to work the same way.
You mentioned AI earlier in the conversation. How does centralizing project data connect to AI?
This is genuinely underappreciated, and EPMA is starting to see it become a significant differentiator in how organizations are thinking about this decision. AI in project management is not magic. It's pattern recognition applied to data. The quality and completeness of that data directly determines the quality of the insights. If project data is fragmented across multiple systems, some projects in one tool, others in another, some tracked in spreadsheets, some not tracked anywhere, AI has nothing meaningful to work with. You can deploy the most sophisticated AI assistant available onto incomplete data, and you will get incomplete answers. Or worse, confident-sounding incomplete answers that lead to bad decisions. Centralizing project portfolio data into a single system is not just a project management best practice. It is the foundational investment that makes AI-assisted project management actually possible. The organizations making that investment now, building a single source of truth for their portfolio, are the ones that will be able to leverage AI in meaningful ways in 2 and 3 years. PPMX was designed with this in mind. The AI capabilities built into the platform work because the underlying data is complete, real-time, and centralized. That's not a feature. That's an architecture principle.
If you're a CIO or an PMO director about to make this migration decision, what are the 2 questions you'd want them to ask that they probably aren't asking right now?
Question 1. Does the tool we're evaluating actually replace the capabilities our PMO relies on? Not what the vendor says it replaces, but what our team actually uses every week. Get specific. Write down the 5 things your organization uses Project Online for most heavily right now. Then have a real conversation, not a sales demo, with someone who knows the candidate platform deeply, and verify whether those 5 things are genuinely possible. Don't accept yes without seeing it. Question 2. After this migration, where will the projects across our entire organization actually live? If the honest answer is still in multiple disconnected tools with no single view, you haven't solved the fundamental problem. You've improved one part of it while leaving the rest unchanged. The organizations EPMA sees come out of this transition stronger are the ones that use it to build the portfolio visibility infrastructure they should have had years ago. The ones that treat it as a lift and shift will be having a version of this same conversation again in 3 years. One opportunity to get this right. It's worth using well.
Well, thank you, Avery, for spending the time today. We hope those watching found this helpful. Be sure to check out PPMX.ai for more information. And please hit that like and subscribe button to stay up to date on new content. Thanks for joining us.